Pranams to all of you. Another story from the great Sri Ramakrishna. There was this frog who was living in a well. This cute little guy living in the well, and it has been living there for ages, a long time, swimming around, diving and so on and so forth. That was his home. The well was the home of this frog. So one fine day, it so happened that another frog from somewhere else fell into this well. And so the frog in the well was shocked, stunned, and it went on looking at this strange guy from outside, and after a while asked the stranger, "Hey, who are you? I've never seen you here around at all. Who are you?" And that frog said, "Yeah, I happen to fall in this well. I am also a frog like you, but I belong to some other place. I live in another place. I fell into this well." And this well frog asked the strange frog, "Where are you from?" And that stranger replied, "I am from the sea." The well frog said, "Sea? What does that mean?" And the frog who came from the outside replied, "Sea is a big body of water, huge body of water." And the well frog said, "Will that sea, what do you say, sea, will it be this big?" And the other frog replied, No. It's much bigger." And the well frog said, "Okay, this big?" And the other frog replied, No, you don't understand. It's much, much bigger." And the well frog stretched its limbs to the extreme and said, "That much?" And the other frog replied, "No, I don't think you understand. Sea is a big, huge body of water. You can't even imagine." And the well frog said, "Okay, now I understand. Will it be the size of this well, my home?" And the other frog said, "No, you still don't understand. Sea is a huge place. Hundreds and thousands of fishes, varieties of fishes and creatures live in that sea. I belong to that place." And the well frog, who was born and lived in this well all his life, could never imagine, could never understand that there could be something bigger than his own well. And the well frog said, "Oh, come on. Enough of all your lies. I know what you're up to. You see, nothing can be bigger than this well. Nothing can be bigger than my well. Can't you see? See how big this is. And you talk about something that I've never seen. You talk something that, it doesn't exist." And the other frog said, "I don't think you understand. Because you have been living in this well for so long, you have never seen the outside world. one day, maybe when both of us get out of this well, I will take you there and show you the sea. The well frog replied, that's not going to happen because this is my home. I can't go anywhere out of this. And nothing can be as big as this well. Stop your lies. Don't tell me all those stories. Sea doesn't exist. You are imagining. It's your imagination. You see, a very simple story. What is Sri Ramakrishna trying to convey through this story? You know, we look at everything, we judge everything, we see everything, we perceive everything only from the me point of view. The me. Right? Whatever I like, everybody likes. Whatever I don't like, everybody doesn't like. Whatever works for me will work for everybody else. What is good for me is good for everybody else. What is bad for me is bad for everybody else. What a tragedy, right? If this is how you and I perceive, look at the world, judge everything from the center, from the me center, from the me and mine center, it's a disaster, right? You and I have never grown up out of our own limitations. Sri Ramakrishna conveys this beautiful understanding through this simple story. Well frog. In a way, all of us, many of us are well frogs. We think what I know, that is all there is. What I understand, that is all there is to understand, nothing more. You know, have you seen these scholars? Have you seen the academicians, the so-called academic scientists? They're stuck in their little box. You know, anything that does not fit into that box of their own making, it is unreal. It is hallucination. It is an illusion. That's what happens to most of the university academicians, scholars, right? The more the learned you are, the more you are ignorant. Intellectual learning, bookish learning, it's all utterly limited. You know, there is an organization, I don't want to name that organization. There's an organization in this world which looks for artificial signals from outer space. Artificial, intelligent signals from outer space. Right? This is an organization which looks for contact signals from other civilizations like us. And they have been doing this for years with the radar telescopes and what have you, all those gadgets. Years and years. They started this long time ago. And they are still searching the sky. Day after day after day after day. They scan the entire southern or northern sky through their big telescopes and radar equipments and what have you. And you know what they say even today? We have not found even one single artificial intelligent signal from outer space. We are still trying to contact other beings, if at all they are there. You know what they say? Because we are not able to, till now, deduct signals, that means we are most probably alone in the universe. What an absurd statement. What an absurd understanding. Just because your tiny little gadgets does not reach something that far, doesn't mean the beings don't exist there. Because your instruments are limited, because my mind which is stuck up in the instrument is so limited, I think this is all there is to see. I don't know how many of you know this. What we see, what we experience, what we hear through our five senses, all that we know and understand is way below 1% of the entire electromagnetic spectrum. I repeat that. All that we know and understand and see and hear and perceive, all that is way below 1% of the total electromagnetic spectrum of this massive universe or multiverse. Right? And in this 1% or below that, how much do we really know? Do we know anything at all? Right? All that you can say, all that an intelligent human being, whether educated in the literal sense or not, can say is, I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Right? That is all you can say, truthfully. You cannot assume, you cannot speculate. Well, you can do that, but hollow, empty. So this is what most of the scholars do. If that does not fit my model, it doesn't exist. The great Albert Einstein is considered one great scientist who turned classical science upside down. Newtonian mechanics was thrown out of the window because of Einstein's discoveries. But even Einstein's discoveries is paling, out of focus. Why? Because more things are being discovered every day, every moment. So all that a true scientist, all that a true human being who wants to really know, really understand, is to open up. Don't get stuck. That's the beauty of life. The moment you say honestly, sincerely, I don't know, honestly, I don't know, infinite possibilities open up before you. That's a fact. The moment you say, I don't know, possibilities open, doors open. But the moment you assume that you know something and there can be nothing more, you're stuck for life. You see the fact? This is what the great Sri Ramakrishna was trying to convey to us. Don't be the well frog. Because you have seen that much, don't assume that there cannot be anything bigger than that. Absurd. Right? When you look at yourself, when you look at other people, this is what most of us keep doing. Anything that fits my box, valuable, useful, real. But anything that does not fit my box, however big, doesn't exist. No. That's not the way. When you wake up inwardly, consciously, wake up to your own beliefs that are limiting you, your own ideas that are limiting you, your own thoughts that are limiting you, your own experiences which dominate you. When you really see that, what you are doing with yourself, that very seeing, that very understanding breaks open all those limitations. Right? But we have to see. How do we get to see? Wake up. How do you wake up? Well, there are two ways. One, on your own. Of course, without the grace of the Guru, Anugraha of the universe, that can never happen. Right? The other way, well, the great Bhagavan Sri Ramana used to say, surrender. Not easy. Not easy at all. I'll finish with the story with one example. For example, take your belief systems. I believe in this, I believe in that, I believe in God, I don't believe in God, I believe in this, I don't believe in that. Our belief system. Do you know how much that is limiting us? The belief that my God is greater than your God. The belief that my religious book is greater than your religious book. I mean, how much more stupid can a human being be? And when you really look at the limitations that is put there in place by your belief, which you have created out of your own misunderstanding, the moment you see how limiting that is, it breaks. It is not a question of believing or not believing. It's a question of knowing. Right? Most of us believe something. Look at it. See what we are doing with our lives. Believe. Throw that away. Is it possible to throw all my belief systems? Belief for or again? Throw it away, because belief is blind. Belief means I don't know, but you don't see that, you don't accept that. Therefore I believe. Create another me, another center. So it's very important for us to look at ourselves, to know what's going on deep within, to understand that deeply and break all that limits ourselves, binds us, creates a barrier. This is what the great Sri Ramakrishna, conveys. Don't go on looking at everything with your idea of who you are. Break all that and move. I mean, that's the wrong word. Who you really are, what you really are, what the rishis and sages say is infinite. Who you are is infinite consciousness. Consciousness itself, which has no boundaries, no barriers, no end, and therefore no beginning. Right? So all that limits us, like the well frog, this is all there is. Drop all that. Find out whether it is possible to drop all limitations, all belief systems. Simply drop. Not because it is bad or anything, because you see the fallacy, you see the how it limits you. Right? A very simple story, and how much it conveys. That's the greatness of Sri Ramakrishna. Such big stuff he brings and conveys that through simple stories. Wow. Pranams to the great Sri Ramakrishna. Thank you for listening to this story. Pranams to all of you.